Alright, folks, welcome back, everyone. 欢迎大家回来。今天是第379天 It is day 379. Got a couple things to go over. Quite a lot of things, actually. So let's wait. What time is it? Okay. It's not 4 a.m. yet. I'm having far too much enjoyment from yapping the yap. Let's go over. So we have a knee association now. Go against. So where I'm associating with su, which is go upstream. Got gu. Gu was a little bit disappointing. Employ. I think this one's gonna be okay. A lot of vocabulary words yesterday. It's not great. 逻辑is one. 逻 right, 逻 and 集 what's on the left side. It's not hand, it's not. The right hand is mouth and oh. Logic. Hopefully that drills in. Hongyang is yang. Hoisting, raising too, so carrying forward, right? Carrying. Oh, I forgot to mention forward. Forward versus forward. Forward. Yeah, I wrote forward there as opposed to be forward. More way was disappointing. More way. Oh, I think it has the little lip on top. That's why. Same difference. And 一级. E 级 级 namely or also is kind of what I think of. Okay, we're gonna try to be a little brisk today. I do still kind of want to squeeze in the thing I wanted to record for Phantom X.
橡胶
橡胶，像 rubber, 胶 glue. I can kind of see where the glue is coming from.
橡胶，潇洒，
潇洒，胶。Deep and clear plus sa. Like sprinkle. Deep and clear to sprinkle. Natural and unrestrained. This is like a natural, graceful, and carefree. Natural and okay, deep, clear, so graceful. I can see that. Sa, sprinkling everywhere they go. Okay, interesting. That might be a tough one.
潇洒，牙膏，
牙膏. Ah, now we're back to some good old combo.
牙膏，
Face. Although I did drop gall yesterday.
受贿，
受贿, except 会, except right. Oh yes, the good old stuff.
受贿，帆船，
帆船, nice.
帆船，
All right.
橡胶，牙膏，帆船，潇洒，
潇洒，
受贿，
哎，
梳子，
梳子，
梳子，雪豹，
雪豹 ，snow leopard, nice.
雪豹，拱桥，
拱桥 arch bridge, nice, nice. I love it.
拱桥，
Give me all of these
陶艺
today. 陶艺 Yep, I got it.
陶艺，陡坡，
陡坡 steep slope. Suck these up. These are freebies. Very, very big freebies right now.
梳子，
Uh-oh. I forgot. Okay.
雪豹，陶艺，陡坡，拱桥，
Alright.
履历，
履历shoes. Oh yeah, shoe history or shoe experience or slash history. Like more so like walking shoes, like wearing. Like the experience you have either walked or weared, or like carried on, like have traveled or experienced. Resume, great one for history.
履历
Does this also include like academic CVs?
叫嚷
Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah. 叫嚷 call and is still shout. Okay, like it. Things are still fine.
叫嚷席指
旗帜 tinfoil, like it.
席指
Or aluminum foil. I think they're kind of the same now. Oh, ew. Why? Oh, we were going so well. Okay. Master Chief is inside the barn, sitting next to a soldier. I don't think there's an all that looks like this. Sitting next to a soldier and a foreman. Okay. Stewing some food. He stews a compass over a compass over a burner as they sit in the hay next to the cows. Master Chief reckons they need to stew the compass for a couple years before it's finally edible. What the? Master Chef is in the barn. Huddled. Convening, right? Convening with a soldier and a foreman on the direction or compass, right? Compass of their next mission. Meanwhile, they are strategizing their next move. They are using a burner to stew some cattle from the barn. Substance. Sorry, cattle. Alright. Oh. I see what they mean by stew. Interesting. Oh yeah. Or to stay up late, to stew late, like stew to kind of like simmer or like leave something for a while.
熬虾
Xia blind. I wonder if this can be combined with Meng. Xia. No, I see a hi. I also see a xian. Man, Xia. Xia. I guess Xia has I, isn't it? Xena's in front of the auditorium where she finds a strange. Heck. Oh, those are very unfortunate ones. Okay. So Xena is in front of the auditorium where she is helping with where she works, maybe. Where she's working as an escort, not that type of escort. She is helping people. Oh, there's a beanstalk thrown in. where she is helping, keeping an eye on unloading and transporting the props for the play. There are special containers. We're not using dollhouse even though that would work. Special containers with various beanstalks for the stage. In addition, she is passing word of mouth and off for other orders, while also keeping an eye out for the for the blind actors and actresses featured in the play, I guess. Okay. Okay. 下次 makes sense. 下说 interesting to blindly talk. Nonsense.
虾
Alright.
履历 叫嚷 虾 熬 洗纸
Can't believe I didn't realize that tin foil is one word. The more you learn.
跳
Xiao. Oh my goodness, that's a go board plus some feathers, and neither of them are represented in the read? Oh, come on, man. Yeah, neither of them. Oh, wait. A kind of. A chi. What? No, that's... am I thinking of... No, I'm thinking of... Thinking chess. Dang it. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Holy. This go board is a destroyer. They turn upward. Kirby's in the bathroom of the barn, where he is playing Go with a cow next to the pile of manure. Instead of pieces on the Go board, they use different colored feathers. Kirby is winning, so his spirits have turned upward. Bend up, turn up. As he never thought he would beat the cow sitting in front of him. The cow turns upward his face, refusing to look at the Go board or make the next move. As his pride... That really... That's a stinker right there. I guess. Try to use it. I don't got anything. 翘尾巴. Interesting. Get cocky. To turn. Oh, I think I wrote way inappropriately. It's the other way. I screwed up on tail. but turn upward tail and what? And like crust? Holy chow weiba. Although I think weiba, this is hard. That's tough.
翘允
Ying. Member. Closest one I can think of is Sun. Sun for damage. Is there another member? Oh, there is Yuan. Oh, interesting. Ying. Okay. Not the greatest. Alright. Yugi is in the basement of the infirmary walking around. Suddenly, members of the infirmary staff begin to fall from the ceiling onto the cement floor. They form hills of members that Yugi runs between, trying to get out of the basement before one falls on him. How about that? Yugi is in the basement of the infirmary, where he is trying to figure out what has happened to all the members of the infirmary. And how they fell to the influence of the shadow realm. He combs, I guess he combs through, he looks through piles of hills, right? Hills of old medical records. Ying Shi Fall Stone. Oh, okay, actually that's fine.
允
I feel like most of these are getting you're kind of really digging now.
怀
Why? Scholar tree? That's okay. It kind of looks like Kwai though. Or Guai. Gotta be Gui, not Guai. Wait, Huai? Can I get another Huai for the Huai crew? Nope. No Huai group. It's more like Hui group and... Oh boy. Alright. We're just rolling with the punches. A scholar tree? Like... Kind of like a principal? A pagoda tree? What the... Hold up. What? Is that like a principal tree? Like what I mean is like a tree like... Oh no. Wait, is it an actual tree? Oh, yeah, it is because it has shu. I was thinking like academic. A scholar tree. What the heck's a scholar tree? Oh, that's actually... Oh, that's really pretty. A pagoda tree. So Chinese and Japanese have... Interesting. Wow, they're pretty... Wow, they're really pretty. Huh. Low key, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I might actually like the looks of some of these more than a cherry blossom or plum blossom tree. I mean, they kind of remind, but I like the light green blossoms that they have. Interesting. Anyways, all right, another tree, of course, and I mean, tree is in it. The Hulk is inside the hallway of the high school where he's growing a scholar tree out of his locker. Oh boy. In hopes that it will make him a scholar that is smart enough to pass his test. Underneath the scholar tree is the ghost of a scholar who is trying to teach. Oh my word. Okay. Hold up. Okay. So Hulk inside the high school, right? But high school like courtyard, like the courtyard. We'll consider the courtyard as inside too. In the courtyard, he was able to, I don't know, move and plant with his like superpowers, right? The superpowers, a large scholar tree as a center fixture. I don't know, to honor the fallen of to honor the ghost of a fallen scholarly, I don't know, scholarly founder school. That's not gonna work so well. Okay. Ghost tree, he's moving it. Alright, we got this. We got this. All the tree ones are pretty indistinct from each other. So what do we have? We have a poplar. We have a poplar. All the fruits. A cypress tree. Pine trees.
We
gotta dig deep.
Kan
To chop? Wonder how this varies from John for chopping. It's, oh no way, it's not that close. Man, Kermit is scary. Kermit is very scary. Kermit is in the basement of the pawn shop holding a sharp stone. On the basement floor are a bunch of bills at the pawn shop. Refuses to play, and Kermit uses a sharp stone to chop them up into a bunch of pieces. Certainly one way to go about it. Maybe he's trying to help. Just trying to help. Tie? Oh, okay. Of all the things to chop, I suppose. To tear. Man, okay. Oh, no, it still lines up with the other s. What is that? What is the other s? This? I swear the other s is this. Is it this? Heckin' s. Alright. The tear. SpongeBob is in front of the house where he is airing out his clothes hamper while lying in the grass. Suddenly, a finger comes up to him and tears his clothes hamper open with a hoe, throwing some of his Dirty SquarePants all over the lawn. Then runs away while SpongeBob wonders what he did ever did. Okay. Let's just do something more haphazard. SpongeBob is in front of the house, trying to dry his square clothing on a clothes hamper. He thought it would be a great idea to use his hose to act as a support to hang his clothing, but his clumsy fingers accidentally dropped the hose and tear open, tear all of his clothes and destroyed the hamper. Something clumsier. 撕毁 oh, to tear up hooks. 撕开 to tear open. Sense?
撕
That's so nightmarish.
翘
That is so like upward, turn upward. Man, this character is gonna wreck me.
引
Okay.
Huai 撕 砍
Chop with the knee. That's how you spell chop. Chop it. Okay. I'm gonna have to go fairly quick. I want to be a little bit more liberal with this. I really do want to record the next thing. Okay. No whammies, please.
大家
大家都很开心。
What? Huh. Oh. Where does the soul?结尾这件事感到七什么？感到七Gotta Gotta stop. Something makes me want to type like,
气氛
oh, it
别为这
is.
件事感到气愤，
Indignant. Oh my gosh, 气愤. Wow. I'm still not sold on the. Oh, that's supposed to be flower, not fence.
玉
That's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
海底
海底资源丰富，
小偷
这个小偷留下了一些指纹，
啄鹰打盹
旅途中他经常打盹，
Oh no. That's not good.
供
Oh, what is that? Oh,
过
I'm gonna type pass through. Because it's also pass through, not just pass. But... Oh no. What is that? Hmm.
纠纷
他们之间发生了一场纠纷，
Kind of like getting involved or a dispute of some sort. Oh, that was a little weird. I was still on the last thought. 吉祥物。
吉祥物
这只熊猫是动物园的吉祥物，
匪利
I mean, example is fine. For profit, but... Oh, no, wait. Can I do example? No, I think we want to stick to profit.
楼
Oh, no. Oh no! Wait. Oh no, there's something special about that, and I don't remember. Oh no, wait, that's 4.
转弯，
在那里转弯。
下次
头痛，
我最近头痛很严重。
The heck? Oh no. Oh, I mistaken that. I didn't read the whole thing. That's bad. Bad news bears. Oh, it has by shit. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, it's oh, everything is gone. Oh, everything's gone sideways. Hold up. We gotta slow down here.
抡，
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. By ban,
百般，
百般照顾，
like just common people, or just common, just every means. Oh no, this is different. Oh, it's every means as in every sorts. It's a different sorts, not the kind sorts. Every method sorts.
下次，
下次会要讨论什么？
We gotta get our bearings back. Come on. Come on.
心弦，
他的笑容轻轻拨动了我的心弦。
追溯，
污染源头被追溯到一家工厂。
On, we can do this. We can do this.
规矩，
这里有很多规矩要遵守。
蜡烛，
我们点燃了蜡烛。
消，焕发，
经过一段时间的休息，他焕发出新的精神。
棉被，
这床棉被太小了。
And quilt, but I can't spell cotton either. How did this work?
剑，
Japanese convergence. Nice. It's not ja, it's the zhi.
嘲笑，
他们嘲笑我的中文发音。
Laugh at and mock are very. What? What? Hmm.
梳理，
我今天早上没有梳理头发。
灿
What the ton?
脚凳子，
他脚踩在脚蹬子上。
Not that type of pedal. The other type of pedal. Uh. Dang it.
冤枉，
我冤枉了你，对不起。
疾病，
空传疾病，
肉串，
他今天吃了5串肉串。
芝士，
这块芝士很大。
Pretty sure. Oh, cheese. Yeah, dang it. That's the special thing. It's fine. We would have I would have picked it up at some point. Is this like Oh no. Why? Why? Speak to me.
雨滴，
窗户上有雨滴。
Speak to me.
御手，
一位技艺高超的御手能驾驭4匹马。
Speak to me.
笑柄，
这件事情让他成为笑柄。
That's like to laughing stock. Yeah, that's gonna suck. A laughing stock is so weak.不粘锅. Okay.
不粘锅，
这是我最喜欢的不粘锅。
Wait. Right. Handle.
横，大麦，
大麦和小麦有什么不同？
Once 大一个是大麦，别个是是小麦。That's why they're different. One's big and one's small. Oh no. How do we descend? Wait. Interesting. Oh, this is this color buckle.
组，诗，断，左右，
8点钟左右，
Oh, approximately. That's fine.
蒙 勤奋
他在学业上非常勤奋。
月龄是啊。not 零懒夜懒是 I think
家具
他们需要一些新家具。
新词
她是一位新词的老太太。
Oh, that's a typo. That is a typo. Huh?
懒
No, it's to be lazy, but slack off is good. Acceptable. Hold up. So, what is going on here?
鸡
Okay. Oh, it's accumulates. Hello? Oh no.
水壶
水壶里还有点水。
What the car?
鱼
Heck.
烟雾
纽约市被烟雾笼罩。
磨阅览室
阅览室里很安静。
或约
或约，时间是最公正的裁判。
序帐篷
我们在湖边搭了一个帐篷。
What?
崭新
Oh.
我们刚买了一台崭新的电脑。
Why do I want to type shit?
血
Oh. That's because it is.
白昼
他白昼在办公室。
搂抱
那对情侣正在公园里搂抱。
Oh no. Somehow I think it's
残
like it's something like lacking, incomplete. Yeah. Okay.
绝
We're stubborn. Fair enough.
迈进
我们必须勇敢迈进。
Say what?
神仙
他相信世界上有神仙。
Hmm. What? I don't know what the right thing is. What happened?
府
Aw, thanks. Thanks, drama. Listen, drama. We're gonna listen, drama. We're gonna have to like. Oh, I think we recently came into a new late problem. Now it's like James, Beth, into like Jazz, Bree, into Revel, and then into you, and then after you, there's a chance like, oh boy, we're gonna have like a round the clock serialized yap sessions. Holy, what is this? Huh. Yeah, lots of yapping. We're like 4 hours behind. We're using up all our happy dollars. Okay. Oh, dang. Is this Ru Jiang?
儒将
这位儒将拥有深厚的学识。
Heck. Is it scholar? It's the reverse. It's scholar general, but it's fine. It's the same thing. So I'm pretty sure this is Yao. Yao. Maybe Yao Gao. Yao Gou. Yao Gou. Is that what I think it is? Hmm.
妄想
他有很多奇怪的妄想。
I don't know. Is that weird or something? It's like arrogance, pride. 幻想. Third thoughts. Hmm.
猎犬
那只猎犬很聪明。
So what are you up to, Drama? What are you doing? Are you cataloging your pictures?
Yo.
Back to work. 咬狗。I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. 泉水. That's no 泉水. What are we doing there? No, that's not it. That's not it either. Oh, man. He had not the time to do that. The company laptop is so awfully slow and needs 30 minutes to boot. Yikes. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think this is Fu, right? Yeah. Why did I think it was Fu, though? What was the thing to get the Fu? Is it something about, like, Frankenstein? Okay. You'll make yourself a coffee, then we'll see what we can yap about. I'm not sure if I can do that. We'll see. Is this like delusion? Okay. Or fantasy. I was gonna say fan. And then I don't know. This is like biting. Or is it jiao? No. Or is it jiao? No. I think it's biting. Yao. Oh no, it's not. It's 狡猾.
狡猾，
这个狡猾的商人骗了很多人。
Okay, hunky dory. What's going on here?
陌生，
这个城市对我很陌生。
Oh no. What in the world?
取，迷雾，
迷雾中什么也看不见。
耕作，
这块的非常适合耕作。
伤痕，
他的手臂上有一道深深的伤痕。
沸腾，
水已经开始沸腾了。
倦，南宋，
南宋首都是杭州。
孔雀，
这只孔雀正在跳舞。
枯萎，
花因为缺水而枯萎了。
树枝，
这张桌子用树枝制成。
翼， 湖畔，
湖畔的空气很清新。
是，街市，
教室里的学生皆是认真学习。
Like everything, all are. Yeah, every is. Okay.
报亭，
这个报亭每天都开门。
The heck?
翘，妨害，
吸烟会妨害你的健康。
What? Oh, I typed the wrong. Nope. That's a typo. Let's just go with sun. Dang it. Trying to speed up a process only to slow it down.
宙斯，
宙斯是古希腊神话中的主要神。
壁垒，
文化壁垒可能阻碍沟通。
What? Oh no, it's not. Oh wait. Oh, it's just me. I think. Yeah, I think it's just me. Man, do you look like sun? I don't know what's going on there yet.
麻雀，
麻雀喜欢吃米粒。
孕妇，
Just casual yapping, something on the side. Uh-huh. Go on.
"经
Oh, 治，接治。
醇厚，
这种红酒味道醇厚。
腻，辜负，
我不想辜负你的期望。
Oh boy. Probably not. We can't skip anymore, so we gotta get to it. Running out of time.
鸟笼，
他把鸟放回鸟笼里。
歧视，
我们应该反对所有的歧视。
串，敞开，
他把门敞开了。
What in the world is a summon with a spray? Come back. Close. Wait. Does that make any sense? No. Oh! Huh.
碗，
So what happened here? I don't know what's happening there. Oh, 截肢 或者说截肢 Yeah, 截肢 we're gonna have to hold on to that thought.
接枝，
这是一件众所皆知的事情。
I think I like. Oh no, no, I'm way off base. Huh?
黄，
Hmm.
全力以赴，
他们全力以赴，赢得了冠军。
Somehow I think this is Jian. Oh no, it's not Jian. Okay. Alright. Something about the finger is lost. Fingers in the lost. Just like saw. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Instead of sun. Can I do more? It's really not that good. And this is the thing where he's like trying to spread things around, but it's SpongeBob, so he just let go of the thing.
姜，
Not today, I suppose.
撒，
Oh, nope. Oh, nope. Ah! Wait. What? Oh, I missed the N. Whoops. Spongy Bobu. What? Wait, is that what is that what they call him? Spongy Bobu? Bobu? Spongy Bobu? Bobu is a fun name. Garudo? Ani-san? Interesting. Oh! Oh, that's cute. Ani-san? Patrick. Yeah, Patriku makes sense. Patriku. But Kani-san is great. I love Kani-san. That's cute. Alright, back to this.
搁浅，
这艘小船在沙滩上搁浅了。
Anibaga? Oh, that's cute. That's very cute. I missed this.
滥用，
滥用网络可能会带来危险。
丝帕，
他用丝帕擦了眼泪。
No, that's not it. I lost it again. Yeah, the marshes. I don't think we're okay with this for the vocabulary. Fine. Not today.
烫，弟媳，
我的弟媳很善良。
Huh. Hey, you haven't watched enough to remember the rest? I see. The descending cow would be like
降水，
整个月都没有降水。
precipitation.
禅师，
这位禅师很有智慧。
找，表彰，
他因为助人而被表彰。
无辜，
不要冤枉无辜的人。
提，中，恐怖片，
这部恐怖片真的很吓人。
Yo, what?
瞎子，
我喜欢吃烤虾子。
山崖，
山崖下是一片大海。
僧人，
那位僧人很平静。
乙，
Second did? Oh man.
平，
That's kind of rough. We have so much vegetation too.
瞥，
It's Jewel. Without the E.
绝
What the?
媳妇
他们的媳妇做饭很好吃。
Oh, wait, what?
惩罚
他因为说谎被父母惩罚了。
Flying through? I wait. Not fast enough, okay? If I need to if I have to yap 6 hours a day, we gotta like 6 times faster. We gotta like finish yesterday. We gotta somehow be able to finish yesterday. You know?
见 结 龙虾
龙虾是一种美味的海鲜。
恳求
工人恳求公司提高工作环境的安全性。
纯粹
这是纯粹的金子。
捞 脉搏
医生在检查他的脉搏。
Oh no. Hold up.
蒜
Fucking garlic?
椒 草坪
请勿践踏草坪。
What in the world? I'm gonna YOLO this. Oh, no, wait. I don't want to YOLO this. Do I want to YOLO this? I do.
恰
The heck?
替 嘲弄
嘲弄别人是不礼貌的行为。
酝酿
他的想法还在酝酿中。
Ah! That's one. Sorry. I didn't hit the right thing. Oh, you know what? I don't know what this is. Daughter-in-law, younger brother. I think this is still a younger brother's wife, right? Oh my gosh. We're never gonna... I don't know when I'm ever gonna use that. We'll have to... We discuss it every day. Whenever there's a family reunion, we have to discuss family relations and what do we call each member all the time.
列 轰
Wait, that's not Oh, is this Moon Goddess? It's Moon Goddess.
鹅
All right, it's fine. We cleared it. It's all right. We were kind of in the zone today. Had a few, one or two skips, but that's good enough. Like half, 75% things. All right, now we have to do all of this. Okay. All right. So these things are getting really rough now. Look at this back end thing. It's crazy how many characters. What is our character count right now? Honestly, 2,586 is pretty reasonable. All right. So what do you look like? You look like a Ja. Oh. Oh, this one's devastating. Ciao. You are able to speak Chinese or understand. I already know how to do that, so yeah, that's like from yeah. So I'm a heritage speaker, so the nice thing is we're only truly concerned about reading. So that's kind of a blanket. I mean, when it comes to conversations though, like conversational. But now I'm learning how to talk in advanced topics. So that's kind of nice to be able to say like, I only need to replace words like politics and religion, like parties and things like that, or like identify, I don't know, like describe how a machine works or something like that. Even computer things are kind of fine. It's kind of nice. It's getting there. It's still response though. Like we're still having a conversation. We're still doing conversations in terms of response and ask. But that is also the nature of culture, like a Chinese culture. You only respond when you're spoken to. So it's always but you know, it's baton passing most of the time. So it alleviates the need to lead a conversation. So oftentimes when you're talking about speaking or understanding Chinese, you're talking about a baton passing thing. What I do in English would be something that I'm not too confident that I would be able to do it with enough frequency in Chinese, Japanese, or any other language, largely because I haven't lectured, or I do not lecture or speak or teach professionally or do anything in a way that people are specifically only listening to me, as opposed to, which is what I need to work on. So the one thing when someone says like, do I speak Chinese, I keep that a little bit separate than understanding. Yes, I can understand Chinese and specifically without having to read anything and respond accordingly. However, the goal, my specific use case, is to lead one-way discussions, like have monologues and talk to myself and have internal monologues, because that would be the platform for streaming, right? Like when you're streaming, you're talking to yourself, you're talking to an invisible, like the characters, or you're talking about the characters. So that's where we're headed for Chinese, and that's where we're headed for Japanese. It was I didn't ever plan to have a conversation with anyone else other than myself. but it is nice to be able to have a conversation with someone else, right? Like my parents, I would rarely ever describe the the intricacies of the triad with relation to the yakuza in the year, in the turn of the century or something. That's kind of a weird thing. But if I'm able to say it while like listening to a Chinese video game and then think in Chinese and make commentary in Chinese while blending it with English, slowly like blending it with English, that's kind of where we're going. Yeah. Hopefully, right? 我可以跟别人说的中文，right？慢慢点说中文，但是still need practice to talk about what yakuza is. Like what 流氓 was the term used for one of the outfits in Like a Dragon 7, right? And 流氓 it means hoodlum in Chinese, so that was more of a recent vocabulary. So 流氓 is pretty neat, being able to see those characters now. Now the question is Liu Mang in Final Fantasy, in Like a Dragon 7, do they have the two characters, Liu Mang or not? So that's those are going to be all the fun things. Nowadays, it's like looking at signs and looking at the backgrounds whenever someone's like going through a Chinese location or something. It's like, oh, okay, huh. That's pretty interesting. In P5X, right? I just walked through the Shinjuku, not the Shinjuku, the Akihabara like section recently, and just looked at signage and whatnot. And what's really why look at signage that's more important is because both Chinese and Japanese converge on signage. So they are like one of the strongest aspects. If you're learning both Hanzi and Kanji, signage, official notifications, like menus, like government documents, news reports, those things become very strong because both of them converges on the same meanings. So like when you're running around and looking at like virtual tourism, like for example, although it didn't happen in the last game, I do miss it. It didn't happen in the last game. It did. It still did. But maybe to a lesser extent because it was Hawaii. I love that Like a Dragon games, any canonical title has portions that are Chinese and Japanese. So like Chinatown is a permanent fixture oftentimes in Like a Dragon games post Yakuza pretty much most of the Yakuza. The reason why I'm saying this is because this year it's Kiwami 3. And Kiwami 3 technically is in Okinawa. And because it's in Okinawa, it's one of the... It still has a Chinese outfit to it. So nearly all of the Yakuza games, the Like a Dragon games, have a combination of a Chinese district with a Japanese district. And then of course I really am I don't know what they're going to do next, but it would be really awesome if they chose, which would be very tough. They do have Sega has a history of working with like New York City, for example, when it comes as a location. I would absolutely be floored. like they would really be reckoning with Rockstar Games, right? What if their Like a Dragon 9 were to take place in New York City? The thing is, though, it would be very difficult, though, largely because the Japanese wheel, the Japanese part of it may be diminished. Usually the Japanese part is heavier than the Chinese part, and Hawaii is one of them. So probably not, but maybe California. California would be pretty interesting. It's still largely going to sideline Japanese, which I don't think that's in the cards for like Sega's choice. Like there's no little Tokyo in next to every single, like a little Tokyo or Japanese community next to a Chinese community. You are more likely to find like a little Seoul, like a Korean company, like a Korean community adjacent to a Chinese community before you find a Japanese community. So it doesn't really set up well enough for them. So I'm kind of curious where they're gonna go next. Every mainline Like a Dragon game, it's like, where's their new location? Because they painstakingly try to reproduce a new location every new entry. And that's kind of like one of the most exciting things. It's if I was a little bit more into Ubisoft, right, in their early days, or Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, when they were talking about like recreating things, I was genuinely very interested when Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and 3 came out, where they like really do the reproduction stuff, and it had like historical context and whatnot. Nowadays, though, like a Dragon, RGG studios are so responsible for dedicating a part that is kind of underappreciated. And obviously the giant that is Rockstar Games would be one of the other examples. Ubisoft getting bankrupt by themselves. Yeah. Honestly, hear me out. This last year, right, in 2025, it was a celebration of Clair Obscur. But we have to remember that Ubisoft is French. Like Ubisoft Montreal is what they started something. Like despite their current financial problems and adjusting, they started things that led to the resurgence and the escalation of RGG, and like a lot of part of the thing created the explosion in interest. Heck, I would even argue that Rockstar Games, they were in the same category. Like the idea, it's kind of, I rarely ever hope that people and their creativity and their privilege and stuff could be seen the worst. It would be kind of interesting. I am interested in seeing what happens to Ubisoft. And then of course CDPR is also the other branch, the other big foreign European, like the Polish one, right? That's holding up the guard at the moment when it comes to like really large world replication games. RGG is not even on the scale or the scope of CDPR and Rockstar. Her friend wanted to work for CDPR. Oh, that's interesting. What do they do now, if I may ask, if that's not too personal? All right, while I go through this, let's see. So again, Y S they're in the military now? Oh, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. I know very little about German military. Oh, wait. I take it back. I know like random things about German military, but it deals with like arms and weapon development and technology, but not so much the personnel. Largely because military, like that type of military thing, is a Americana. It tends to be an Americana interest. Shang Fan. What the Shang Fan? Oh no, it's not fun. Xiang Jiao. Ya Gao. Well, arms and weapon tech is not directly from military, they just buy it. Yeah, that's fair. What I suppose that's a good point. Yeah, and when it comes to weapon and tech, that's kind of where where I would hear a lot of things as an American, right? Americans talk about weapon technology as a like a hobby-ish. It's related because it deals with German engineering. And so we're not talking about like specifically for the act of destructive force. Arms and weapon development are also part of engineering. And before they were arms and weapons, there was engineering and marvels that Germans are very stereotypically. Yeah, American Special Forces uses German weapons, yeah. And then there's automobiles, right? Like the whole idea of German engineering is specifically talking about how much Germany has contributed as a whole to other things that happen to also overline with weapons, right? You can say that a lot about technology and even science, right? Science is that's one of the uses of technology, for better or for worse. My friends they love the idea of understanding how mechanics work, like the mechanical things, and lots of the examples come from German engineering. So I was being facetious and poking fun about like the whole like Bavarian motorworks and whatnot, but really though, lots of things early during my like generational growth in the United States, German engineering comes into play a lot. Discussions come into play. Is IBM German? I think IBM is German, right? Pretty sure. Am I crazy? Yeah, so even computational, like early computational models and whatnot, pretty sure. Of all the nationalities in the European, like within the European Union, so to speak, I know that doesn't include all of the European countries, like Norway. I think I have the most exposure to German, and I've said this before, where I live in the United States, the highest heritages, like nationalities that are heritage, like in terms of heritage, is German. So it's not uncommon for someone to grow up, even being like multinational, to be very familiar with German influences in this particular part of the United States. The other large denomination would be Irish. Oh, IBM is American? Why do I feel like the story, the origin of IBM, like the stuff that they use was like of German origin? I could have sworn there was something about IBM technology that deals with Germany or something. Am I crazy? You just had telecom. You might now have T-Mobile. Interesting. Maybe I'm confusing something. It's something like I think what I remember is like right now one of the biggest hubs in IBM is German, right? In SAP, you guess? Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. New York. I think there's something about Germany though. Like something about like Germany still like holding like one of the largest hubs in Europe, I believe, is in Germany or something. And that's under IBM. I had no idea it was like New York State. That's interesting. Because one of the oldest IBM headquarters is in Germany, I think. Well, the IBM story is that, yeah, multiple companies merged. Yep. As early as it's the amalgamation, right? You had the New York company, and then I believe one of the oldest now is the one in Germany too. And one of that company was formed from a German living in America. Oh, okay, okay. That explains. Oh, that explains the thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. That makes sense now why I remember it as a immigrant. An immigrant. Yeah, tabulating machine company. Yep. Yeah, so that's what I had. I had this conversation with someone who happens to be German. And they did a jab. It's a funny jab. You know, I'm okay with this jab. It's not offensive or anything. Where like because a country is younger, right? The United States is younger by pretty much most of the macro metrics. That a lot of times people would make jokes like, well, you know, you just steal everything. You just like brain drain everything, and that's kind of that's how you catch up, right? If I had to think about something objective about brain draining and stuff, the question is like when someone argues like, oh yeah, you know, the United States, technically the sources of my local pub is older than your country. Yeah, so technically when you say things like that, right, one could counter with logic. We can use logic. Like the one logic is like, oh yeah, you know, technically those people, like this person is German, technically this person is Italian, this person is Chinese, right? But the thing is, it's a double standard when someone doesn't hold accountable for when they don't have desirable qualities, right? Like when you know how people like claim heritages of individuals when they are good, but they dismiss and disown immigrants when they are not good. But here's a kicker that I would typically retort back to that type of logic. If you're saying that the United States, for example, had like this campaign to try to draw people in with opportunity, why didn't you try to keep your, you know, like why didn't you try to keep the immigrant? You see what I mean? Like why didn't you encourage them to not immigrate? That's kind of like my like funny cheeky retort. Like if we were like sitting and trying to be friendly with each other with banter, like obviously I don't live during that time, so I can't really technically say anything with precise commentary because I didn't live during that time. Like I wasn't alive during the 1800s. You have these US American influencers visiting the country of Europe and telling on social media that the country of Europe has no culture. Then you get people saying quotes like above. Yeah, and guess what? All the other countries also do that. And now we do it online. right? If we were gonna equate all of these things historically, imagine all the propaganda now that happens. Like right this moment, like if you were trying to equate fairness to how influencers visiting other countries and spreading propagandistic and stereotypes, I think the field is not leveled either in the opposite argument. So it's kind of an interesting thought, right? Like if we're trying to play fair and playing fair in an unfair situation, like what you quoted, my local pub is older than your country, you have to level the playing field. So you could give up your ageism to level the playing field if everyone's playing on a level playing field. But that's not the case, right? In reality, when you're playing influence and propaganda and all those things, you're not playing on a level playing field unless you're willing to give up and play on a level playing field. So if it's fair to say my local pub is older than your country, therefore making my local pub richer and higher value than your country, then you have to give that up while also understanding that the actions of doing something when you don't have a lot of influence is to generate influence. Right? Same deal. No, it's not fair. Like the reality is you in order to succeed in an unfair double standard, you participate in the unfair double standard. So you do not exonerate. If you want to play fair, you take responsibility and accountability for your double standards as well as leverage them. But in this case, it doesn't really matter which perspective you take. When they defend their case, you cherry pick, like whoever you associate with or group you associate, you cherry pick things that are positive, take ownership of those things, even by transitive property, and then dismiss and disown or ignore those that may weaken your case. So when you say you have these US American influencers visiting the country of Europe and telling on social media that the country of Europe has no culture, if we were to equate that, then we would also have to take back all the censorship and the derogatory natures of accusing US American culture to be derivative of everything that's older than them. That would be hard. Like imagine giving up the argument that origin doesn't matter, or not for also giving up on the other side that culture is worth differently from where it comes from. So one default loses and the other also default loses. So if we can equate all those things, that would be an interesting way to have a discussion, But most of the time, the harsh reality right now, or the funny reality, is that you can't beat the argument that we're older, right? Nepotistic. Like I can't argue against that. Like how do you argue against that in the sense that the only thing you can do is you make an ad hominem influence argument, right? You use popularism to combat nepotism. Like if your country is older, there's no like changing that. Unless you want to dismantle a country for the sake of longevity or something. That's kind of weird. Or that's kind of evil, really. Every argument, and like most of the argument is the idea Germany's actually not that old. Yeah. Relatively speaking though, things will become not that old when other things get older, if you know what I mean. Like mathematical property, like for example, if something is 1 year old and something is 100 years old, and then when something becomes 101 and it becomes 2, this distance actually closes. Relative perspective, right? So what you're saying a lot of times is Germany is not actually that old. Yeah, 1871. Oh, that's actually That's a lot younger. That's a lot younger than I thought. Huh. But Germany didn't necessarily like, are we talking about like the independence of Germany? Yeah, before okay. You're talking about when Otto von Bismarck stepped in. Yeah. Because technically, like the United States, right, when it comes to where you decide, you would probably say like the Declaration of Independence, which is relatively old. In the, like, when we take 1871, right, like then we have 1776, right? But then you enter the whole British argument where, like, well, everything was, before then. If you're talking about the Federal Republic of Germany, that's even later. Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. I live in a state that's relatively old, so would there be something old in where I am that's older than 1871? Honestly, long story short, I am going to share my respect, right? I'm gonna be respectful to all the people who believe in traditionalism and like nobility, nepotism, history. Like, I'm not saying it as a bad thing. I'm talking about it from an like a kind of like an argumentative position. It's impossible, like it's highly improbable to form an adequate argument against the idea that something existed longer than another thing. Like, that's kind of a dead end for discussion, right? Like, oh, you were born before me. Okay. Like, there's not. Now the argument the consequence of that is that something young is cheapened, and then something old is higher in value. And that's something else that can be talked about or discussed. And your Germany now united is like 1990. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Pennsylvania, since you were split, yeah. Pennsylvania was one of the original 10 colonies, right? I'm very bad with the it's on the fritz. Pennsylvania is it's Mayflower, one of the original colonies. So I don't know what is its official founding date. Like, the reason why I'm saying it's original is I don't know what is like official, like how you officiate. The province of Pennsylvania was 1681. So that's like one of the like around that time is when the colonization happened. But technically they weren't recognized until were trying to be recognized until the Declaration of Independence. It's interesting. So that's neat, actually. And imagine, like, for me, just imagine how much Germany has done. So we could even say, like, young bros, like personifying the countries, right? Young bros. But real talk, I do want to be respectful. History is unequivocal, right? Like, you can't substitute history. Being even tangentially related to Chinese history is just that much older, and that's crazy. Here's a fun little thing. I was watching Mythical Kitchen. I like watching Mythical Kitchen. Shout outs to like Josh and the light, right? He was doing different types of dumplings, different types of like kind of dumpling related dishes around the world, and he introduced one of the dumplings of like indigenous North American, Central America cuisine, and that one survived everything before like colonization and whatnot, and that's pretty neat. It's still not like thousands of years young, but it's pretty neat to see like a dish that existed arguably arguably before a time when they might have recorded those things in the Americas. We were discussing with GPT about German history and World War. It said that the First World War was inevitable and the Serbian guy was a trigger but not the reason. Huh. GPT said that. How'd that make you feel? I don't know enough about geopolitics and war to, like, I'm really out of my depth if I made a commentary on how the First World War was inevitable. I don't even have enough, like, I barely have enough context of the political landscape prior to World War. Well, the explanation made sense. Oh, interesting. So there was a lot more, right? There was a lot more, I imagine. Huh. Maybe I should try that sometimes. Do like a brainstorming exercise with GPT about like all the amalgamations of the thoughts, like published thoughts, and see what. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. The Serbian guy was a trigger but not the reason. I do, that is the prevailing theory that I was taught about World War One. Usually most of these things are not escalated by a singular trigger. The reason lies far well in the making. Yeah, World War II is, further than that, it's the same thing. But that's a logic argument. That's a logistics, historical logic argument, not necessarily a detailed oriented like chain of events. It's like the most reasonable way to say things like war is not triggered. Like war is triggered by things. It's not the reason usually. Like the reason. Most of the time, the reason has stacked up a long time ago because it's historical. Yeah, even when the Big H never started the war and would not just build his army and become a tech giant, the Russians would eventually, yeah. So these are talking about the human condition, and GPT seems to be accumulating a lot of the human condition arguments as opposed to like those are agreeable. Like they should make sense. They are taking into account the human condition as opposed to like looking at the details. I don't think war is ever like the reason for log scale wars and stuff is down to a specific trigger. Like that specific trigger is not the reason, right? It might be part of the reason, the last straw that breaks the camel's back situation. Yeah. Which is great because honestly, not like I'm not talking about wars are great, sorry. I'm talking about like if that is a way that is encouraging people to think about it. Usually I think that's a lot healthier to look at things than a singular time point, right? For example, I had a class that I took for like extracurriculars in college. It was about modern empire building. So like the dawn of the modern empire, which is what you are talking about, like building up his army and became a tech giant and stuff like that, right? Or a commerce giant or a wealth giant, or building up soft power, the modern empires. And I know empires have a bit of a stigma, but some of the modern empires would be Germany, the UK, United States, China, right? Those are modern empires, and the whole time it's like there was so much that builds into the sudden recognition of a what is a very hot phrase, a global power, right? Like a world power. But it's not a lot of times people view these labels as that moment when they are declared a world power, but they were hundreds of years in the making. Like the road to it was paved by individuals who spent their entire generation, if not multiple generations, setting up the works and the framework and the foundation that contribute to its current position now. Despite being a young, when people say like young country, they talk about respectfully like thousands of years. Hundreds of years created modern empires. Or like I would even argue within like few hundreds of years is the current existing modern empires now. And the word is no longer empires. Obviously people don't build empires, there aren't emperors and whatnot. The idea is talking about like the Industrial Revolution, the various points in each country where they've gone through the phases, right? Japan had an Industrial Revolution. Germany, like nearly every country that's past a certain point when it comes to developing soft power and influence, they've gone through phases that involve in the modernization. So nowadays, like soft power, let me see how big an umbrella for soft power is. They usually define, or according to ChatGPT, or like this in Gemini anyways, it's the ability, they include influence, attract, and persuade other international actors, right? And culture and values and policy. So soft power is one of the biggest battlegrounds, so to speak, in the modern empire building. How much soft power you have. And you gave a great example when you mentioned the having influencers, going to a country and then spreading this entire, like this perception in order to draw and influence other sources of resources. So there was a time when hard power, or I don't know what the referring, but raw materials and whatnot, was unequivocally the source of a country's overall power. And now soft power is like what we were talking about in that. I don't think the terminology was used. I didn't use that terminology back in that class. Nowadays it would be viewed for me as soft power. Soft power has taken like front stage, and it's like one of the largest singular measure cumulatively. There's a lot that goes into soft power. Demonstrates how strong a modern empire is. At least that's an interesting narrative, right? How much influence you have. Influence can legitimately open doors to resources, or make the perception of a very powerful, quote unquote, country that may not necessarily have literal firepower. Crazy. I think modern empire building became more of a soft power transition. I don't know if any of this is interesting or not. It became more of a soft power transition when globalization took hold. Basically, when the idea is that the fall, like power vacuums and power seizure and power shifts, cannot occur in a void anymore because of globalization. If there is a power vacuum that a specific country falls out, you know, like one of the world powers or something falls out, that power vacuum would destabilize every other world power that is tied to that globalization. So hence they like negotiate soft power, as opposed to like trying to deliberately take out countries, so to speak. So warfare is so much deep, like hard to appreciate. And whenever someone says like, oh, well, it was triggered with an act of violence, for example, an act of violence. And I don't mean that they're not important, but the idea is all of the things that led to that conflict was already set in motion for so long. The trigger is not the reason, or largely not the reason for most large-scale conflicts. They are the last things, though, that would incite a cascading effect that has been set in a long time. And I would say that's what makes things a little bit scary sometimes. I don't know if you ever think about this. I think Procall, someone that I talked to, you've probably seen Procall. It's so hard to like feel a little, like for me, continuously feel a little nervous because you don't actually know. You don't know enough to know when the last straw is. So while there's wonderful peace times and whatnot, it really does create that idiom of ignorance is bliss situation, right? But things are set in motion for so long. I mean, we might not have been alive for many of the reasons that are occurring now. That's crazy, right? The human condition. There are things set in motion well before we could even appreciate it or we even existed. And they are what's remembered for sure. Happy thoughts. I genuinely think that, okay, I realistically think that in any particular lifetime, humans can transcend and balance these things. That's my wishful thinking, I suppose. Not necessarily hopium, because honestly, trying to cope with rejecting a piece of the human condition is kind of very tiresome. So yeah, inevitably conflicts of interest is. By the way, if you want to watch, I don't know if you're still watching anime, like having time for anime, but I've been watching Kingdom. And Kingdom shows is it's not as written in the guise of like the Chinese feudal soap dramas and whatnot, but the way Kingdom presents itself, that's a great, nice little feeling of pocketing things, like appreciating maybe somewhat the idea that things are set in motion, warring periods have happened for hundreds of years, and trying to find the singular time in which something dramatically happens. That's kind of like the whole Kingdom series in a nutshell, because it's the warring times before the unification of China under the first emperor of the Qing dynasty, right? So it's a really good. I'm talking about all of this because it's related to what I'm watching. So there is a background story to this. I've been watching Kingdom for some time. In Chinese entertainment, I should say, I grew up with like depictions of the different warring periods of China, and then like dramatizations of what it's like their attempt to show the brutalities of war, sacrifice of war, the constant warring. Like, China has been warring well for hundreds, thousands of years prior to the singular events that people remember, which are like the unification of China for the first time after hundreds of years of conflict. First emperor of China, right? Middle Kingdom, first emperor of Middle Kingdom, and then you had the communist regime, and then the fall of the communist regime. So like it's like thousands of leap years, and that's what you see. It's really neat. I mean, the Warring Kingdom in the first empire is still punctuated by the three kingdoms later down the road. I'm pretty sure. I think it's then the dynasties broke up, right? Like, because then you had the Mongolian influence, the Khans come in, and then you have the War of the Three Kingdoms, right? The three major kingdoms, and Qing was still one of them. And then you have that modern thing. It's really fascinating. Japan has a really fascinating one, starting with the different regions, and then the big war that a lot of people might know, which is the Tokugawa shogunate, right, where the East and the West gets unified under one emperor, and then you're like saying, okay, well, those are Chinese and Japanese ones. Like, okay, well, let's talk about the unification of the United Kingdom, which also had a battle between kind of like East, West, and then North and South. And then we like, okay, other examples, the Scandinavia. And then obviously you mentioned Germany, right? While Germany might be like young per se, it was a West-East conflict, right? The United States, South-North, North and South conflict. Crazy. Humans are interesting. Have I said this to you before? I think Procol, I say this to Procol a lot. We live in a world populated by humans, and understanding as one grow older and they begin to appreciate more and more about the human condition, if you choose to do so, it's like, it's one of those things. It's both unnerving, fearful, at the same time hopeful, love, then sadness, loss, then gain, right? Transformation and destruction. Crazy. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit like like throwing around hand wavy things. It is something very sobering about talking about human history. I really love shows that like I love epic shows, like epic sci-fi shows where they like go from, I don't know, the Mesopotamia, like the Fertile Crescent, all the way to like the space race in a hypothetical future. I absolutely love the sprawling, those type of sprawling narratives where it really shows the scope, or even despite like different periods and whatnot, the scope of human history. We're part of that continuum, you know what I mean? I'm basically quoting like a Star Trek episode. Like a few Star Trek show, like a series, talk about like the continuum that is humans, right? The human continuum, how one can be connected the whole idea is that humans are staggered continuum of influence and cycling and whatnot, and yet somehow it holds together. I don't know how crazy some people might think it is. I think it's crazy. Think about a species that have to constantly pass information down in a like kind of a discontinuous way. like written history. Like when we talk about history, we're talking about written history, right? The stuff that we are after the development of like the printing press and language and written language being vastly available, then writing history recording has become a center stage. And now we're living in the internet age where legitimately it's like making it even more crazier and dynamic on how history will be remembered and passed along. It's crazy to think that this is built by a species that have a discontinued lifespan compared to the history of the things that will remain of them. And that would be like a country, right? A country, it's incredibly out of the body experience to think about a country represented by something that's beyond you, right? It's beyond a single individual. It makes you kind of feel humbled while at the same time incredibly fearful or uncertain. Like, who's to say that this very moment was already not, was already set in motion by by millions of strangers you have never and will never come to know. Crazy. Imagine being some sort of entity that lives forever. Okay, sorry. I got a little grandiose at the end. Okay. Fan chuan. Okay. What do we have? Casual conversations, right? Drama? Just casual yapping. Obviously. Every day, casual yapping. we just be casually yapping. I say you finish HanziHero and we proceed when we're at P5X. Yeah. Because I'm basically just recording my completion run. I really need to go to the bathroom. That's kind of what's making this a little difficult. I know, too much information. Oh man, look at this character. These characters. I can't even read what I'm looking at. I think one is Xiao. What could Xiao be? Deep, clear, Xiao Sa. How do you feel about seeing some of these traditional characters? I'm pretty sure the Japanese one of this is Abyssal. Abyssal is not there. So that little like bottom thing, and then the bottom thing of both of these are simplified to some extent. And then the top part of like this part is gone, and then this part is changed. This one and this part are changed. I haven't written that character. Despite like looking at it, it's like, oh, okay. They look like alien signs. Oh, you know what? That's kind of a good yeah, that's kind of funny. Oh, and there will be a time when I go back and do simplified. It will be sometime around January is when I'll spend like a month correlating all the simplified characters. And then we'll talk about Japanese, correlated with kanji as well. Because by that time, we'll have covered a lot of overlaps. It'll be really interesting to look back. Show 什么? Show 会. Show 会. 出自. 写什么？学报。 You said you're gonna work back Russian, right? Drama. You're the once I get comfortable with Japanese, Russian is the thing you're doing in the future. Okay. Well, I will really have to tease your. I will have to like get some tease about like quote unquote like Slavic related things. I don't know actually if that's connected, but like we're talking about, you know, Russian. The Russian language is like even another macro. Russian is the same for you as Chinese is for you. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, okay. I see. I see. That's a great way to cut corners. Like that explains a lot. Tell 什么？交易。What in the world am I looking at?陡坡。Oh. 拱桥。履历。叫嚷。旗帜。Okay, really fast. Not really. Well, steady as you go. Xena, all right? Xena outside of the auditorium, doing her work, trying to help out, making sure the blinds are like the blind people are accommodated, making sure like special containers of different props like the beanstalks, the stage prop, keeping an eye on everything. Good to go. We had Master Cheeks, Master Chef, Master Chief, in the barn. Conferring with his colleagues, the foreman and a soldier, about their next location, the direction of their next location, while stewing up on the burner some of the cattle from the barn. Okay, we got Kirby. Kirby in the bathroom of the barn. This one's wild. You know, just chilling with a neighboring cow, trying to play a game, trying to learn how to play, or I guess playing each other in a game of Go. We gotta think about Kirby in the Nintendo world, right? And they're playing with like chicken feathers next to piles of manure instead of like Go pieces, and they're in the bathroom of all places. Oh my. So the cow was losing, so he's like turning up his face. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, toward, like lifting up, turning towards up its face, turning up his lips or something upward, because the cow is too prideful. This one's outrageous. I think Chow is gonna wreck me so hard in the future. Alright, we have Yugi in the basement of the infirmary. This one's okay. And he's looking into how all the members and the patients in the infirmary, through like hills of medical papers, to determine how the members fell into the shadow realm, succumbed to the shadow realm. Having beach swimsuit banners come out in blue archive while there's snow outside your window is interesting. I know, right? So this is what happens with staggered releases. I don't know when was the last time you played gacha games, but nowadays most gacha games are staggered releases for the global versus the the Asian, the Eastern side of things. So because of that, they also have events, right? The events, they have seasonal events. So then the seasonal events do not line up. So like right now, P5X, they pushed forth the seasonal events, and they're trying to like sync it. So the Valentine event is gonna land on February, but they're trying to line up all the seasonal events, because last time the beach episode happened in fall, so it's during the autumn season. However, that's kind of what, like, Blue Archive was also released in a staggered state for the global side, the non-Asian side as well. It's true for a lot of practices now, especially for gacha games. They're usually like first established in the on a different server, and then the global side gets staggered, and it still leads to weird things like that, despite, like, we're not even talking about, like, despite climate differences. Kind of interesting. Like, it was already like starting to snow or like go below freezing when the summer event happened on P5X, at least over here. Hulk, let's see. Hulk is in the it's in the high school, in the middle of the courtyard of the high school. He lifted up a tree, a scholar tree. Dude, you should look up a scholar tree. Scholar trees look cool. I just learned what a scholar tree, or I learned what a scholar tree looks like today, because I had no idea. I thought they were referring to like a scholar tree, like an academic branch, but this character is for literally the tree. So we have, like, right now I'm at the upwards of like 10 different characters for 10 different trees at the moment, or at least some sort of plant. It looks cool. It's like instead of cherry blossoms being like white and pink, or even like plum blossoms being like purple or something like that, scholar trees have like greenish, light greenish blossoms, or at least the images that are provided. There are Japanese scholar trees and Chinese scholar trees by historical things. So he's planting the tree, you know, in honor of a ghost scholar. How does ghost work? This? All right, and then what do we have here? SpongeBob doing weird things again. SpongeBob thought it would be a great idea to pick out the clothes hamper and hanging it up using a bunch of hose. Not that type of hose. Scythe-like hose. But he was clumsy with his fingers and basically shredded and tore all of his clothing. His square pants. Bubulu's pants. Okay. Boo is a potato sponge. Okay. So Kermit's basement, pawn shop, And, Kermit is trying his best. He's basically trying to help. So he takes a sharp rock and cut up all the bills that maybe the person he's working with doesn't want to pay. Right, chop them all up. Just doing his best. It doesn't solve the problem though. All right. With all of that yapping aside, we're concluding our HanziHero session today. That's a wrap. If you're gonna watch this later, 谢谢. As always, feel free to follow along. Pick up HanziHero for yourself. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. You're always welcome to yap. Let's brainstorm together, motivate each other, keep each other company, updates and whatnot. Sharing is caring in so many ways. Try to motivate each other. Until next time, 大家下次见，感谢观看. Right. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. I got one more thing to do. We're recording our finale to the Astrolabe event, and I want to record it. I've already had all those things planned out, so we're gonna do that the moment I come back from my bathroom break. Thank you.